The Honorable Speaker, Mxolisi Dukon. We shall now observe a moment of silence, meditation, and prayers. Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning, honorable members. Ha kenke monyetla ona wa o ananela boteng wa bahlomphehi bohle ba teng kwano ke qolle boteng ba morena e moholo morena Motha le marena a mang a teng ke ise tlhompho go majoro wa Kharipi mme Mehlomakulu, Deputy Mayor wa Mangaung Metro mme Lulamatiti Odile, Meyara wa Masilonyana mme Modise, Speakera sa Mangaung Metro ebileng e le modulasetulo wa Salga Dr. Lawrence Mathai, Speakera sa District ya Kharipi Councillor Mando Shasha, mme Mando Shasha, Speakera sa Moqhaka Councillor Magengenene, mme Magengenene, Commissioner ya Department of Correctional Service mme Mudli, ke dumedise bohle ba teng kwano, Mopremiri wa Freistata Chief Whip Yarona, Chair of Chairs, Kahola, the Deputy Speaker, Okeni, Leader of Government Business, Kale Dubesa Luotle Batengwano Lolona, Bama Metembale Haye. I wish to remind the House that Schedule 3 of the Standing Rules and Orders, 10th edition, regarding the rules of virtual and hybrid meetings of the Free State Legislature shall apply. I also wish to request the House to suspend Rule 250 of the Standing Rules and Orders for the day, a rule which makes provision for the reports of committees to be presented to the House by the chairperson or another member of the committee. This is in order to facilitate coordination of the tabling of the 12 committee reports contained in the order paper for purpose of management of time period of proceedings of the House. The suspension of this rule will only be limited to its operation to this particular purpose and period. Any objection? Approved. In terms of Rule 3 of the Standing Rules and Orders, I hereby frame a rule due to a good cause shown that will permit the Chair of Chairs to present to the House all 12 committee reports as contained in the order paper, and it reads as follows. The committee reports as contained in the order paper of the 14th of May 2026 shall be presented to the House by the chairperson of committees. This rule will only be applicable for today for purpose of addressing this eventuality for which the Standing Rules and Orders of the Legislature do not provide. But also, I want to indicate that while members of the executive are members also in the legislature, and when we adopt reports, it is actually very, very important that members who are sitting in the legislature, all of them, understand what they are adopting, because it is expected that members of the executive, as members of the legislature, would have had an understanding of what they are adopting. I would therefore request that in the future we must make sure that members of the executive committee are also made aware of the contents of the reports that will be tabled, so that they actually have an understanding and appreciation of what is to be tabled and what they are approving. We proceed with the reports from the portfolio committees, and they are a report of the Joint Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Infrastructure, Roads, Transport, and Human Settlement and Public Accounts and Finance with regard to the road infrastructure oversight visit conducted in Fezile Dabi. Yes, Honourable Member.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. We note that some of the members have joined virtually. Can we please ask that they be identified in person? Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, honourable members that are present virtually. Can we make sure that let me just mark the members that are here. Honourable Member Mathai is here, Ketoma Kume is here, Manche, Nogwanje Tlalele is not here. Menogwanje Tlalele. Honourable Member Tlalele. Honourable Member Tlalele. Can I get an indication that members who are muted? Honour Member Nokwanje Tlalele. I take that the honour member is absent. Honour Member Mabuya. Honour Member Mabuya.
Honorable Speaker, I'm here.
Yeah, no, I don't see you.
Virtual.
You know that you are here. Yeah. Now, Honour Member Jabu Mbalula. The honour member always has a problem with the gadget. Honour Member Mbalula. These members would have their salaries deducted for the day. Honour Member Mukwena. Honourable Member Saki Mukwena.
Morning, Speaker. I'm here.
I don't see you.
I'm already on your screen, Speaker.
Yeah, I can see that. I've asked you every time you are not, when we have virtual meetings, hybrid, I've always asked you to help on Ndate Mbalula, and you are failing in that regard. So instead of deducting from Ndate Mbalula, I will deduct from you. Honour Member Nolita Dungano Nale an apology, but let me establish you again in a virtual. Honour Member Nolita Dungane, Deputy Speaker. Okay, not able. Honour Member Tabomeko is here. Chief Whip is here. Honour Member Dabisen Kharek is here. Ndate Zamas Gwebela is here. Roy Jankelson is here. David Van Vuren is here. Honour Member Pretorius, Julian Leach, they are here. Tapelo Museu is here. Honour Member McKay is here. Honour Member Mukwena is here. All of them are here. Honour Member Dipoko is here. Honour Member Msimang is here. Nanyani. Honour Member Nanyani is here. Honour Member Chabalala. Honour Member Chabalala.
Can you see her?
Honour Member Chabalala, I'll make an exception for you. I will not want you to show exactly whether you are here or not. I can hear that you are here. Honour Member Klute is here. No, Honour Member Klute. Honour Member Klute. On leave. Honour Member Foko is here. Honour Member. This is not a classroom. Honour Member Mukabela is here. Honour Member Khatebe. Honour Member Nue. Honour Member Lamini. This is a very, very difficult surname for me. Skierkuchel. Honorable Member Makeseni, Honorable Member Briet. Thank you, Honorable Member Leach. I nearly made a mistake. Second, the report of the Portfolio Committee on the Public Works, Infrastructure, Roads, Transport and Human Settlements to the Free State Legislature regarding the second quarterly non-financial reports for 2025-2026 financial year of the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, Human Settlement and Community Safety and Roads and Transport. 3, a report of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Infrastructure, Roads, Transport and Human Settlements to the Free State Legislature regarding the third quarterly non-financial reports for 2025-2026 financial year of the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, Human Settlements, Community Safety, Roads and Transport. 4th, the report of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Infrastructure, Roads, Transport and Human Settlements to the Free State Legislature with regard to the revised annual performance plan for 2025-2026 financial year of the Department of Human Settlements. 5th, a report of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Infrastructure, Road, Transport and Human Settlements. Honourable Member.
I'm talking to Speaker, not to you. Speaker, is it parliamentary for members of the parliament to play with phones while the sitting is on?
It depends.
Some I'm even making phone calls in the gathering. Is it parliamentary to make a phone call in the gathering?
It is not allowed to make a phone call. As I say, it depends on what you use in the phone for. It is not acceptable to use the cell phone in the house. It is not also acceptable to play on your cell phone whilst we are in a meeting. But if truly the phones are used to access the documents we are talking about, then it's accepted. Before you clap hands, I would like also to be shown whether you really are using the cell phone for that regard. I see the Honourable Member El Sabi is one. Ndade Dodo.
Premier
What is that?
Premier is even calling. Is even calling within the. Premier is even calling the city while she's in the city.
Calling the city.
I'm saying Premier, she's even calling while she's in the city.
I did not see that. I was not aware. Let me see. Ndade Khoban. No, I'm just saying.
Speaker.
Yeah.
As the Chief Whip of the Legislature, I would like MEC Mbalula to apologize to you for getting late into the city.
Okay. No, I'll come to that, Honourable Member. Honourable Member, we wanted to go digital. We use cell phones to and other. Honourable Member, what's why I get the excitement? Gana jai, or what waba hulu. Gana going to Lagata rebel sitting was never to hang. Most of our members are at their best behavior. House Navatu. All I was just saying is, all our members are allowed to use the cell phones for accessing the documents as they are in their cell phones. But I just want to make sure that last time. One member tabled a report that was not a report. So I don't want to be hoodwinked by members who are using the cell phones for other things. But thank you, members, because I can attest that at least we are accessing the documents. But that is the responsibility of each and every member. I'm not going to be a policeman. You are honorable members, and I want that to be understood correctly. Honorable members act honorably, and they know what is supposed to be done and not what should not be done. Thank you. The report, the sixth, is the report of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Economic Development, Small Business, Sports, Arts, and Culture with regard to the oversight report on the Free State Stadium downgrade and engagement with the Free State Sports Confederation. Report number seven, report of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Economic Development, Small Business, Sports, Arts and Culture to the Free State Legislature with regard to the annual financial reports of the Departments of Agriculture and Rural Development, Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, Economic Development, Tourism, Environmental Affairs and Small Businesses and entities for the 2024-2025 financial year. Number 8, a report of the Portfolio Committee on Education, Health and Social Services to the Free State Legislature with regard to the annual non-financial reports for the period 2024-2025 financial year. The report of the Portfolio Committee on Education, Health and Social Services to the Free State Legislature with regard to the third quarterly non-financial reports for the period 2025-2026 financial year. The number 10, the report of the Portfolio Committee on Education, Health and Social Services to the Free State Legislature with regard to the second quarterly non-financial reports for the period 2025-2026 financial year. 11th, the report of the Portfolio Committee on Education, Health and Social Services to the Free State Legislature with regard to the oversight visits undertaken to Ango Maseola Clinic, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Bitumelo Hospital and Matete Mechis Secure Care Center. A report of the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance and Office of the Premier to the Free State Legislature regarding the South African Human Rights Commission's Free State Provincial Office inquiry into the state of service delivery at the local government level in the Free State Province. Before we proceed, I wish to inform this House that the titles of these reports have been published on the TAC, and the copies of the reports have been distributed to honorable members in accordance with the rules of virtual sittings of this House. A report is deemed to be tabled in this House when the title of the report is published on the TAC. Honorable Chair of Chairs, Ndade Meko.
Speaker.
What does the honourable member propose the reports to be considered?
Now, Honourable Speaker.
Any discussion? Any objection? Honourable members, this side, what's wrong? Is it cold? Too cold? Huh? I'll participate, whether I object, I Look what did Approved. Honourable member may address the House on the individual reports. I get disagreement.
Honorable Speaker and honorable members, allow me to table the reports of these committees on behalf of the chairpersons of these committees tabling the reports today. Indeed an honor, Chief Whip. So the task is to present them collectively in line with Rule 50 and Rule 3 of the Rules and Orders, thus permitting the House to table these 12 reports in a manner that we have determined. The tabling of these reports is a fulfillment of Section 114, 115, and 118 of our Constitution. The tabling allows us to live up to our constitutional mandate as public representatives so that we become the firm voice of the people of this province. These reports represent the frustrations and requests from our people. Our people are calling on their government, Premier, to listen and decisively intervene. The reports are a culmination of the oversight work and accountability work, public participation, and a continuous monitoring of government departments and entities delivering services to our people, and that would also include municipalities to a certain extent. The portfolio committees convened on various dates to consider a total of 8 compliance reports covering the second and third quarters of 2025-2026 financial year, as well as 4 oversight reports arising from the oversight visits and engagements undertaken. The reports we are tabling before this House reflect serious weaknesses and challenges in service delivery, and a concerned failure by certain institutions to adequately respond to issues consistently raised by our people. These reports are critical, thus should not only be seen as accountability tools, but also as mechanisms to reassure our communities that Free State Provincial Legislature remains responsive, vigilant, and committed to accountability. We also highlight visible work that the executive has undertaken where concerns were raised with the executive through responding to the reports as tabled in the House. The committees raised a number of issues relating to the downgrade of the Free State Stadium infrastructure and challenges concerning maintenance and lease agreements. The committees also considered the Human Rights Commission report regarding the state of service delivery arising out of some of our municipalities in the province. The reports highlight the lack of implementations of the recommendation arising from the Commission's report, oversight intervention, particularly in areas relating to revenue collection, escalating municipality debt, electricity supply instability, and broader governance challenges affecting municipalities. Even on this one, we also note some of the very strategic and important intervention undertaken by the executive in the province in a number of municipalities through Section 139. The committees undertook oversight visits and observed firsthand the infrastructure challenges facing the province as it relates to the deterioration and poor maintenance of public infrastructure. The committees have therefore called upon departments and relevant authorities to prioritize investment in primary health care infrastructure and accelerate maintenance programs. We're calling on the departments to urgently fill vacant critical posts to strengthen service delivery capacity, whilst we're also noting challenges around high levels of COEs, especially in the Department of Health, the Department of Education, and partly the Department of Road Infrastructure, very responsible for infrastructure development and maintenance in the province. Honourable Speaker, in conclusion, we know that the effectiveness of this institution cannot be measured by the number of reports produced, but by the impact of our oversight in improving the lives of our people. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that the findings and the recommendations contained in these reports are implemented without fail. Thank you very much.
In terms of the rules of the visual sitting of the legislature, a report is considered, is deemed to be tabled in the House when the title of the report is published on the TAC. But it does not suggest that the reports cannot be tabled. And it is done by senior members of the legislature that they table something that is not there. Honour Member Meko, I saw you tabling, and that you tabling, these are not the reports that you are tabling. I just want to understand, why are you doing what you have just done?
Speaker, may I request clarity, or the Secretariat must intervene there and help so that the procedure is observed to the letter.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying the rules provide that we should consider that they are tabled, but at least we should have the reports. And as it is happening, I thought you were tabling the reports here. You were bringing them here. And I wanted to see the reports. And what I saw there is no report.
Speaker, I'm under guidance. My task is the presentation, the deliverance is the Secretariat. I don't know if they misled me there. I'm sure it can be attended to, as I see the Secretary rising to address you.
No, the Secretary is only telling me that they are delivered in the multi-party whips. Is this app? WhatsApp. That does. All I'm just asking is, what prompted the member to stand up and present something that is not a report?
No. That's what I'm saying, Speaker. I'm guided by the Secretariat of Committees. So they might have misled me on the content of what I presented on the table. For that, apology is tendered. The strategic task for me was to make a presentation of the reports, which I did quite well. Thank you.
No, you did the task quite well, but I would like to insist the next time, because you made me aware, the Chief Whip made that mistake when he tabled a report that was not a report. And then today is the Chair of Chairs is tabling a report, and that is not a report. You are tabling orders of the Speaker. What you tabled there was Speaker's orders. So we would have to have a discussion, Honourable Member. Thank you. You see, Chief Whip, mesebetsi ya hao ya o latela. When does the Honourable Member propose the reports to be considered? Can I make sure that Honourable Members, Honourable Members, please make sure that they receive the report. They are using phones, etc. It's easy to just distribute all these reports to their cell phones. Please. No one ever the Speaker's orders. Rautwana Batuba responsible for that. When does the Honourable Member propose the reports to be considered?
Now, Honourable Speaker.
What does the Honourable Member propose?
Yeah, I answered because I'm sympathetic.
Okay.
That the report as tabled be adopted by the House.
Any
Honourable
discussion?
Speaker.
Any objection? Approved. I hope that the honourable members this side are not represented by what honourable member Msimang said, or Okwatile. I see the DA is not participating. Dade Fogo. Okwatile lwe. The reports of the portfolio committees as tabled are adopted by the House. The Honourable Chair of Chairs shall now take the chair.
The House proceeds to motion 1. The acting secretary shall read motion 1.
That the second reading debate on the appropriation bill B3 of 2026 be continued. Vote 2, Free State Legislature.
The vote before the House is vote 2, Free State Legislature. Before we proceed, I wish to remind the House that the vote of the Free State Legislature is not subject to debate. The Honourable Speaker, Mr. Dukwana, may now address the House. I will debate.
The Honourable Premier of the Free State, the Honourable Chairperson of Committees, the Honourable Chief Whip, Honourable leaders of political parties represented in the legislature, the leader of government business, honourable members of the legislature, Morena Emuholo, Wabatokwa Morena Mota, Marena Oshate Nkwano, the leadership of Chapter 9 and 10 institutions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Batova Freistata. The framing of our constitutional role demands that we balance tradition with innovation. We must safeguard the dignity of our democratic institutions while embracing digitization, layered accountability, and collaborative progress tracking. In doing so, we strengthen the legislature's credibility and relevance in the eyes of the public. Honourable Chair of Chairs, the Constitution is not only our foundation, it is our compass. The mandate it confers is not optional but obligatory. Let us therefore recommit ourselves to executing this mandate with precision, inclusivity, and foresight, ensuring that the Free State Legislature remains a beacon of democratic governance and a custodian of the people's trust. The legislative's milestone and oversight integration. The Free State Legislature stands at a pivotal juncture in its constitutional journey. Our legislative milestones are not merely markers of progress, but affirmations of our mandate to serve the people with integrity, with foresight, accountability. Each milestone reflects our ability to translate democratic principles into practical governance, ensuring that the Constitution remains a living instrument The lawmaking is the legislature's core function. It is through bills that members give expression to the aspirations of communities, addressing systematic challenges, and embed accountability into governance framework. The responsibility to draft or propose bills rests squarely on members, who must ensure that legislation is responsive, inclusive, and aligned to budget priorities and the needs of our people. I am pleased to report that the Free State Legislature, together with other departments in our province, have received a clean audit opinion. This achievement affirms our collective commitment to sound financial management, transparency, and accountability. Yet, while we celebrate this milestone, we must not become complacent. A clean audit is not the destination, it is the baseline. It must translate into improved service delivery, strengthen internal controls, and measurable impact in the daily lives of our people. I therefore call on all departments and entities to emulate this standard, to close gaps where weaknesses persist, and to ensure that every rand spent reflects value for money and advances the constitutional mandate of governance and is accounted for. Honorable Chair of Church, for this financial year, the Legislature will be embarking on an enhanced oversight and accountability program in alignment with Section 114 and Section 115 of the Constitution. This intention is aimed at realizing our constitutional mandate to strengthen accountability through rigorous and evidence-based oversight, as well as to foster meaningful public participation. We remain resolute in ensuring that public confidence in elected representatives is not eroded as we serve at the behest of the people. The execution of our constitutional mandate must therefore translate into tangible outcomes rather than a mere rhetoric. We are in a path to strategically reposition the institution as a people-centered and data-anchored decision-making institution as we discharge our constitutional responsibilities. The portfolio committees will progressively integrate technology into oversight mechanisms as a tool to improve efficiency, accessibility, and transparency. It is imperative that the Legislature establishes a comprehensive research agenda to guide its strategic outlook and clarify the role it must play within the broader oversight ecosystem. Such an agenda will define the scope and scale of resources required to build an ideal, fully capacitated and fully functioning legislature. In recognition of the magnitude of our mandate, we will continue to engage with relevant stakeholders to secure improvements to the baseline budget, ensuring that institutional capacity matches the demands of effective oversight and accountability. We have observed deficiencies in our internal controls and inadequate responses to resolution of the House by members of the Executive Council. We will implement decisive measures to strengthen resolution tracking mechanisms and enforce accountability through the amendment of our standing rules and orders. The portfolio committees through the House will intervene where there is clear disregard for resolutions of the House. Thus, individual members of the Executive will be held accountable through referral to the Ethics Committee where such is necessary, including holding members of the Executive accountable where there are allegations of misconduct. The portfolio committees will be required to adopt smart resolutions to ensure that resolutions of the Free State Legislature are well captured and well followed. Chair of Chairs, we will be establishing an oversight ecosystem focus group with practitioners drawn from Chapter 9 and 10 institutions. We expect organizations and non-governmental organizations. This platform will advance the constitutional imperative of stakeholder participation in oversight processes, facilitate independent verification of information submitted by the Executive, and promote collaboration and coordinated efforts in strengthening service delivery. The platform will also be called to facilitate dialogue on how to strengthen accountability mechanisms of the stakeholders. We will implement decisive measures to strengthen resolution tracking mechanisms and enforce accountability. The Legislature recognizes that effective oversight and accountability require not only robust frameworks, but also clear procedural rules. In this regard, the Rules Committee is seized with the impending consideration of amendments to the standing rules and orders. These amendments will be presented to the House for deliberation and adoption, ensuring that our constitutional procedures remain responsive, transparent, and aligned to the constitutional imperatives, and of course, constitutionally correct. By modernizing our standing rules and orders, we reaffirm our commitment to a legislature that is both procedurally sound and substantively impactful. Honorable Chair, the Legislature reaffirms its unwavering commitment to strengthening collaboration with Chapter 9 and Chapter 10 institutions, recognizing their indispensable role in safeguarding democracy, advancing accountability, and promoting ethical governance. These partnerships ensure that oversight is not conducted in isolated but coordinated across institutions that uphold. These partnerships ensure that oversight is not conducted in isolated but coordinated across institutions that uphold constitutional order. To formalize and deepen this collaboration, the Legislature has resolved to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Office of the Public Protector, the University of the Free State, the Office of the Auditor General, and these MOUs will provide structured frameworks for cooperation, ensuring that institutional partnerships yield measurable outcomes for the people of the Free State. Furthermore, the Legislature will continue to extend its oversight reach to local government in line with constitutional provisions, including Section 132 hearings. The existing Memorandum of Understanding with the South African Local Government Association, SALGA, which is due for review next year, will be strengthened to enhance collaboration, address challenges in local governance, and ensure that the voice of municipalities finds full expression in the work of this House. The legislature remains firmly aligned with the collective resolutions of the National Speakers Forum, which serves as the highest coordinating body of presiding officers across the Republic of South Africa. This forum ensures that provincial legislature act in unity, strengthening institutional resilience, oversight, and public participation. At its most recent sitting, the forum resolved to 1. Intensify joint oversight mechanisms across legislatures, particularly in relation to municipal governance and service delivery. 2. Accelerate the digitization of oversight tools, ensuring that all legislatures adopt dashboards and electronic reporting systems. 3. Standardize committee business planning frameworks so that oversight is measurable and comparable across provinces. Lastly, strengthen collaboration with Chapter 9 and 10 institutions, ensuring that legislatures are active partners in safeguarding our democracy. These resolutions guide the Free State Legislature's priorities for the 2026-2027 financial year and reinforce our commitment to institutional excellence. Institutional independence and security is very important. The legislature's independence is a cornerstone of our constitutional democracy. It cannot be compromised or subjected to frameworks designed for the executive arm of the state. Budget vote outreach programs, public participation initiatives, and community dialogues are not discretionary. They are constitutional obligations. For these programs to be conducted safely and effectively, security support for members, staff, assets, and the public is a non-negotiable requirement. Any attempt to withdraw or condition such protection undermines both institutional integrity and the legislature's ability to fulfill its constitutional mandate. We therefore reaffirm that operational framework affecting the legislature must be developed in consultation with legislature and must respect its distinct role in governance. Safeguarding the independence of this institution means ensuring that its constitutional functions are carried out with the necessary security guarantees, thereby protecting both democracy and the people we serve. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the legislature continues to affirm its constitutional mandate of public participation by convening sector parliaments. These platforms ensure that diverse voices within our province are heard, respected, and integrated into the legislative process. Sector parliaments are designed to provide direct engagement between the legislature and specific constituencies, strengthen participatory democracy by ensuring that oversight and lawmaking reflect the lived realities of citizens, create inclusive spaces where marginalized groups can articulate their priorities and hold government accountable. In the 2026-2027 financial year, the legislature will convene, among others, the following: the Women's Parliament, advancing gender equality, economic empowerment, and protection against gender-based violence. We'll also convene the Senior Citizens Parliament, ensuring the dignity, the healthcare access, and the social protection for the elderly, as well as the People with Disability Parliament, promoting accessibility, inclusion, and equal opportunities. Inputs from sector parliaments will be consolidated into committee business plans to guide oversight priorities. Will be reported to the Provincial Speakers Forum for cross-collaboration. Will also be linked to Chapter 9 and 10 institutions to ensure accountability and responsiveness. Will also be digitized through the legislature's oversight dashboards, ensuring transparency and follow-up. Sector parliaments are not symbolic. They are substantive mechanisms for democracy. They ensure that the legislature remains a house of the people, responsive to every constituency and accountable to every citizen. The constitutional mandate entrusted to this legislature requires that we exercise vigilant oversight over municipalities, ensuring that governance at the local sphere reflects accountability, transparency, and service delivery. Our recent oversight findings reveal persistent challenges in financial management, procurement compliance, and institutional capacity across several municipalities. These findings underscore the urgency of strengthening systems of accountability and embedding resilience in municipal governance. Section 139 of the Constitution provides the legislature with a critical intervention mechanism when municipalities fail to fulfill their executive obligation. Interventions under this section are not punitive, but corrective, designed to restore functionality, safeguard service delivery, and protect the rights of communities. In the past financial year, interventions have highlighted recurring weaknesses: inadequate revenue collection, irregular expenditure, and governance lapse that compromise developmental mandates. These realities demand decisive, coordinated action, and that must be spearheaded by our committee and approved by this House. The legislature's role in terms of Section 139 is twofold. The first one is to ensure that interventions are constitutionally sound, procedurally fair, and strategically targeted. And secondly, to monitor that corrective measures translate into tangible improvements. Our oversight has revealed that the interventions must be accompanied by capacity building, digitization of financial controls, and inclusion of SMMEs in procurement processes to stimulate local economies. Without these, interventions risk becoming cyclical rather than transformative. In the budget speech must therefore emphasize that the resources allocated to municipal support are not discretionary, but integral to constitutional compliance. Section 139 interventions must be framed within a broader strategy of institutional resilience, embedding transparent procurement, youth empowerment, women empowerment, and digitized oversight tools. By doing so, we ensure that municipalities are not only corrected, but capacitated to sustain service delivery and economic participation. Our oversight findings remind us that the health of local governance is the foundation of provincial stability. Section 139 interventions are instruments of constitutional guardianship. Let us commit to using them with precision, foresight, and accountability, ensuring that the Free State Legislature remains steadfast in its duty to protect the democratic promise of effective people-centered governance. The Hansard Directory plays a critical role in safeguarding the integrity, accuracy, and accessibility of the official parliamentary record. Through this directorate, we ensure that the proceedings of this House are faithfully captured, preserved, and made available as a permanent and reliable record that supports accountability, transparency, and democratic governance. Despite the challenges we face, it is important to note that the Directorate has consistently delivered its services in accordance with the Hansard Uniformity Guide approved by Commonwealth Hansard Editors Association, maintaining required standards of accuracy, consistency, and professionalism. This has been achieved through the dedication and resilience of our staff, even under constrained conditions. However, the Directorate continues to face persistent operational challenges that constrain its ability to fully sustain and enhance this level of performance. The Directorate is currently operating with outdated and, in some instances, non-functioning interpreting equipment. These limitations not only affect the quality of interpretation services, but also pose a risk to inclusivity, as language accessibility is fundamental to the functioning of a multilingual legislature. The legislature must and will invest in the comprehensive modernization of Hansard functions, including recording, transcription, and archiving systems that are seamlessly integrated to meet the demands of a modern oversight environment. Addressing these challenges is both an operational necessity and a strategic imperative to safeguard the integrity and accessibility of the legislature's record. I am pleased to report to this House that the Speakers' Forum that was held from the 4th to the 5th March 2026 in Clarence has reaffirmed its role as a strategic platform for strengthening legislative governance across the province. Its recent resolutions provide clear direction on how oversight, digitization, and public participation must be integrated into the daily work of municipalities, ensuring that our constitutional mandate is executed with precision and accountability. The Forum resolved that oversight must be sharpened through structured frameworks that link directly to budget priorities and service delivery outcomes. Municipalities are tasked with adopting annual oversight plans that embed Gantt-style progress trackers, stakeholder matrices, and layered accountability tools. These instruments will enable committees to monitor expenditure, procurement, and compliance, and institutional resilience in real time. Oversight is not to be reactive, but proactive in anticipating risk and ensuring corrective action is timely and evidence-based. The Forum emphasized that digitization is no longer optional, but a constitutional necessity. The legislature must accelerate the adoption of digital oversight dashboards, e-committee systems, and electronic reporting platforms. These tools will enhance transparency, reduce irregular expenditure, and improve accessibility for members and the public alike. Digitization was identified as a key enabler of institutional resilience, ensuring that legislatures remain relevant and responsive in a rapidly evolving governance environment. Chair of Chair, the Forum resolved that the public participation must be deepened through innovative platforms that bring citizens closer to legislative process. Community dialogues, civic education campaigns, and interactive exhibitions were highlighted as vehicles for inclusivity. Legislatures must ensure that participation is not symbolic, but substantive, capturing citizens' inputs and integrating them into community deliberations and budget allocations. Youth engagement was singled out as a priority, with legislature urged to embed programs that empower young people as active architects of democracy. The resolution of the Provincial Speakers' Forums are not abstract commitments. They are operational directives. Oversight must be sharpened, digitization accelerated, and participation deepened. Together, these resolutions strengthen the legislature's credibility, reinforcing its constitutional mandate and ensuring that governance remains both accountable and inclusive as custodian of democracy. Let us commit to implementing this resolution with precision, foresight, and accountability, ensuring that the Free State Legislature remains a beacon of democratic governance and a custodian of the people's trust. The speech will be recorded as such, but I've jumped too many pages because I feel cold, and I'm imagining what are you going through seated there. And the Premier is complaining that this is cold here. So there are many other things that I'm not saying here, but the members would have recorded them. These initiatives are not optional. They are constitutional imperatives. Voter registration drives operational and operationalize the right to vote. Community dialogues operationalize the right to be heard. Youth engagement operationalizes the right to participate in shaping the future. Together, they strengthen the legislature's credibility and reinforce the democratic compact between the state and its citizens. As we deliberate on the appropriation bill, let us emphasize that allocation for these programs are investments in democracy itself. They are investments in legitimacy, accountability, and inclusivity. They are investment in the resilience of our institutions and empowerment of our people. Let us therefore commit to executing these initiatives with precision that is needed, ensuring that the Free State Legislature is relevant. This year, Honorable Chair of Chairs, marks 3 decades since the dawn of our constitutional democracy, a milestone that calls not only for celebration, but for reflection and renewal. The Free State Legislature, as a custodian of democratic governance, must lead in commemorating this journey through memorial lectures, civic education campaigns, and exhibitions that honor our past, engage our present, and inspire our future. Civic education campaigns are the lifeblood of participatory democracy. Exhibitions offer a visual and interactive dimension to our celebration. They allow us to showcase legislative milestones, community dialogues, and the evolution of our democratic institution. Honorable Chair of Chairs, these initiatives are not symbolic gestures. They are constitutional imperatives. The fourth Ratsa, Honorable Premier, is a historic and symbolic seat of democracy and is currently unusable due to the extensive structural damages. Legislative proceedings have temporarily been relocated to the smaller six-floor interim chamber at the Southern Plaza building to ensure continuity of business of the House. The Department of Public Works and Infrastructure has advised that 53 million is required to repair damages and restore the fourth Rasal to a functional state. It is critical to note that the deterioration of the fourth Rasal lies in the lack of proper maintenance of the facility. The neglect has directly contributed to the current state of disrepair, undermining both heritage preservation and institutional functionality. The relevant portfolio committee will engage to heighten oversight of the matter so that this heritage of the people of the Free State is preserved. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Legislature knows that the fourth Rasal Rehabilitation Project is listed as part of a multi-year infrastructure pipeline funded through the equitable share, the infrastructure enhancement allocation, and immovable asset management program by the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, as well as the announcement by the MEC Memanje of Public Works that 5 million has been set aside for the fourth Rasal for the 2026-2027 year, which represents about 10% of the total renovations planned. The Legislature therefore calls for explicit commitment and ring-fenced funding to ensure that the fourth Rasal's rehabilitation is not lost within general infrastructure programs. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the budget for Vote 2 to be appropriated amounts to 339,066,000 rands. Attention is drawn to the fact that the statutory amount for the members' remuneration, which is a direct charge against the Provincial Revenue Fund of 31,860,000 rand, and this does not form part of the equitable share allocation mentioned above, but is in terms of Section 217 of the Constitution, tabled in addition to provide for the remuneration of members of the Legislature. The fact that there is currently no increase in allocation if compared with the previous financial year's allocation, Honourable Member Makume, leaves the Legislature in limbo.
Honourable Speaker, just a minute. Honourable members on the visual platform. Honourable members on the virtual platform, can we request you to unmute? In fact, to mute. Can't see him out. Honourable member on the virtual platform, can we request you to mute?
Speaker,
Thank you. Honourable Sakimu Queen, it looks like you are the culprit. Can we request you to mute? The speech of the Premier is in session. Honorable Mukwena. IT, can we mute all these people on the visual platform? Thank you. Honorable Speaker, let's proceed.
The Premier came Mata. No, nege tuisa. Ore motaye me mona gen date. A ke tshwane ho hang le mo premier. Ka ntho tse ngata. O mosweu ke jwalo jwa.
Apologies, Speaker.
Are you calling me to order? Order with Chair of Chairs?
No, I was apologizing to you.
No, thank you. Haholo ha o tseba sebaka sa hao. Budgetary shortfall projects such as review of the staff structure, establishment of a monitoring and evaluation and internal control unit, operational expenses such as public participation, international representation at conferences such as the Commonwealth, and capital items which needs replacement is actually a challenge. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the House must take note of the undertaking by Treasury that that review of the baseline will be considered through the adjustment appropriation process. Honorable Member Abu ne ke batla mamele mo. Obane re bile le dikopano ga ba le ditshepiso. Me wa ba le ditshoso. Jwale ke ne go patla mamele he. Re tla tswela pele go qoqa le morumuwa wa tsa ditšhelete go lokisa bofokodi bono bo bonagaletseng. Mme ke tshepa gore re tla ne re tswele pele jwalo ka re kgona go etsa a re le babedi. Mathata ke a ba se ba dutse ba le bang executive. Premier re tla qoqa gore o lead process ya o etsa bonnete ba gore ntlo ya ketsa molao e fumantshwa ditšhelete tseo tse tla ithusang go tswela pele ka mosebetsi. I will not go through the allocations members would go through, but honourable members, by aligning the legislature's budget to adopted outcomes such as enhanced oversight and accountability by the executive, lawmaking to become more proactive and responsive to the needs of the Free State public, enhanced meaningful public participation, improved collaboration with other organs of the state, apply the principle of good governance. Economic classification reflects that composition for employees comprising of 157 members and staff represents 58% of the total budget. The staff structure remains constrained in terms of human capacity, and the planned review of the staff structure is expected to bring relief and capacitate the legislature with critical and functional skills required to improve the performance of this institution. The legislature has currently a 20% vacancy rate, and this is something that must be attended to expeditiously. The operational budget under goods and services represent 22%. Provision of offices, resources to host sittings, committee meetings, events, public hearings, contract services, communication, governance, audits, procurement, IT software, and financial programs, to name but a few. Capital budget represents less than 1% of this budget. Meaningful public participation, as defined by the recent Constitutional Court judgment, impressed on the role legislature must play in lawmaking, oversight, and public participation. The adopted public participation and sector oversight models will be reviewed with the aim to improve and streamline processes. Sufficient budget is required to ensure that the well-resourced operational budget, which aligns with the constitutional mandate, vested to be executed. Transfers to political parties represent 19% and capital at less than 1% of the appropriated budget. To remain relevant and reduce operational inefficiencies in supply chain management and the institution at large, the Free State Legislature established a revised set of cost containment measures to ensure that the manner in which we spend, that the value is delivered from every service rendered. As we conclude this budget speech, let us pause to reflect on the journey of our 30 years of our constitutional democracy and the responsibilities entrusted to this legislature. 32 years of democratic governance have taught us that independence is not simply a principle. It is the lifeblood of our institutions. Independence ensures that oversight is fearless, that lawmaking is responsive, and that public participation is genuine. It is the guarantee that the legislature remains a custodian of the people's trust, unshaken by external pressures and unwavering in its constitutional mandate. This moment calls for an inspirational recommitment. We must rise above the challenges of fiscal constraints, governance lapses, and institutional gaps. We must reaffirm that the Free State Legislature is not merely an administrative body, but a beacon of accountability, transparency, and inclusivity. Our independence is our strength, and our call to action is clear: to serve the people with integrity, foresight, and resilience. In reaffirming our independence, we must also strengthen our institutional capacity. The evaluation of all positions within the Free State Legislature structure is underway, and it is imperative that every vacant post be filled by the end of the second quarter. This includes the critical position of the Secretary to the Legislature, whose role is central to ensuring operational efficiency, strategic alignment, and institutional resilience. Filling these vacancies is not a matter of convenience. It is a constitutional necessity to guarantee that the legislature functions at full strength. Honorable Chair of Chairs, this budget vote speech must close with a call to action that is both practical and relevant. We must inspire our communities by demonstrating that democracy is alive, responsive, and inclusive. We must inspire our young people by showing that governance is accessible and participatory. And we must inspire ourselves by committing to the independence that defines our constitutional role. I therefore call on all members of this legislature to make it their priority to encourage South Africans to register to vote ahead of the local government elections on the 4th of November 2026, to take their future into their own hands and to exercise their right to vote. This is the most powerful expression of independence and the surest way to safeguard our democracy. Let us therefore leave this chamber with renewed determination to implement oversight with precision, to legislate with foresight, to engage communities with sincerity, and to strengthen our institution by filling every vacant post. The call to action is clear. Let us rise to it with courage, independence, and unwavering commitment. The future of our democracy depends on it. Honorable Chair of Chairs, let me take this opportunity to thank all professionals who enable us as members of the legislature to do our work efficiently and effectively, our dedicated legislative staff, and the management under the leadership of Meko Nisifo, the acting secretary, and the team that made it possible for smooth plenaries to take place throughout the province under challenging circumstances. My office, the staff in my office that works under difficult conditions, most of the time unhappy because some of the things are not dealt with. I extend my sincere appreciation to the presiding officers for their guidance. The Chair of Chairs, the wisdom and steadfast commitment to constitutional mandate of this legislature. Their leadership ensures that our institution remains resilient, impartial, and responsive to the needs of our people. Ke le acknowledge ka ofela setjhaba sa South Africa, ke lebohe lelapa la ka, le bana ba ka, le metswalle ya ka. Ka tshehetso yohle e le re fang yona ka nako tsohle, mme ke ise hape dithapelo ho motswalle wa ka ya sepetlele Dr. Mokgomo ya lwanelang bophelo ba hae. Ke a le leboha kaofela, ke lebohe le mokgatlo o nrommeng le mokgatlo wa African National Congress. Ke a le leboha kaofela setjhaba.
Speaker, thank you. The address by the Honorable Speaker, Datim Kolisi Abram Tukwana, concludes the presentation on Vote 2, the Free State Legislature. The Honorable Speaker shall take the chair. Thank you.
Ke lebohe le hore lebitso la ka ha ke Thabo. Mme Machabalala ko lebohile le ha o kula tsatsi leo ke etsang budget eno. Le rata o qhala malapa a batho. O nontso o kwatile jwale o tswella pele ntate Mosimane. We proceed with motions on money bills. The acting secretary shall read motion 2.
That leave be granted for the second and third reading of the appropriation bill B3 of 2026.
The Honorable MEC for Finance, Ntate Makume. Mike. Any discussion? Any objection? None. The Honorable MEC may address the House on the appropriation bill.
Honorable Speaker, Ndatem Kolisi Dukwana, the Honorable Deputy Speaker in absentia, Menolita Ndungwani, the Honorable Premier, Member Queen Letsua Matai, members of the Executive Council, members of the Free State Legislature, executive mayors and councillors present, Morena Muhulu, Morena Wabatlo Kwa Morena Mota, the Director General of the province, heads of departments and chief executive officers and public entities, the special guests. I've seen the Commissioner of Correctional Services and the team, the people of the Free State, esteemed ladies and gentlemen, Dumelang, Molweni, Khuyemore, good morning. Honorable Speaker, I'm very grateful for the opportunity granted by this august House to respond to the constructive matters raised by honorable members. Honorable Speaker, there is an African idiom that says, and I quote, "If two people agree on everything, then one of them is not thinking." Close quote. This idiom reminds us that debates, disagreements, and even dissatisfaction are part of a democracy and essentially shaping solutions to the socio-economic challenges facing our communities. The policies we implement and the budget allocations we table may not satisfy everyone. However, to those of us who understand the realities confronting our people, these allocations make sense because they are centered on the service delivery. They are about access to equality education and healthcare services, access to integrated and complete human settlement, access to social services for the most vulnerable in our communities, and access to safe and reliable roads. Let me begin by reminding the honorable members about the provincial fiscal framework. Honorable Speaker, for the 2026 MTEF period, the provincial fiscal amounts to 47.9 billion in 2026-2027. 49.5 billion in 2027-2028, and 51 billion in 2028-2029. So the estimated expenditure for the MTEF period is 148.5 billion. Honorable members, the allocation for the 2026-2027 financial year amounts to 47.9 billion and represent an increase of 1.6 when compared to the last financial year allocation. This allocation includes equitable share of 36.7 billion, conditional grants of 9.8 billion, and the provincial owned revenue of 1.2 billion. Equitable share allocation constitutes 76.7% of the total allocation, while conditional grants and provincial owned revenue account for 20.6% and 2.7% respectively. This budget will assist the province to implement key strategic priorities outlined in 2024 and 2029 medium-term development plan and the Free State Growth and Development Strategy, namely inclusive growth and job creation, reducing poverty and tackling high cost of living, and building capable and ethical and developmental state. Honorable Speaker, in a budget vote speech, the Honorable Premier declared this year as the year of decisive action. This is a call that underscores the firm resolve of the Executive Council to intensify efforts to improve service delivery and strengthen accountability across the province. It is a commitment to decisively root out corruption and to deepen participatory democracy, ensuring that the voices of people remain central to governance. Honorable Speaker, we remain steadfast in advancing the priorities of the 7th administration. Focus on local government, fixing local government and transforming the economy. These priorities are not merely statements of intent. They are a practical program of action aimed at building capable institutions, restoring public trust, and driving inclusive economic growth for all our citizens. The budget allocations across the provincial departments and provincial legislature are intended to achieve these priorities of the 7th administration. Let me briefly share with the House the priorities funded by this budget. In our endeavor to deliver inclusive and responsive basic education services that provide for the highest quality teaching and learning experience for every learner in every school, we have allocated 20 billion to the Department of Education. That is 49.1% of the provincial budget. To advance equitable, accessible, and quality healthcare through innovation, the province has allocated 15 billion or 31.5% of the total budget to the Department of Health. In pursuit of our commitment to provide integrated, comprehensive, and sustainable social development services, we continue to place the protection of the most vulnerable members of our society at the center of our efforts. We have allocated 1.4 billion to the Department of Social Development. Honorable Speaker, the social cohesion and nation building are vital to achieving peace and thriving society. In this province, we will continue to advance these goals through inclusive sports, arts, culture, and recreation programs. To this end, we have allocated 685 million to the Department of Sports, Arts, Culture, and Recreation to implement these important initiatives. Honorable members, our provincial economy remains stagnant and unemployment continues to be unacceptably high. The 2024 to 2029 medium-term development plan identifies infrastructure investment as a key driver of the inclusive growth and the job creation. In response, we have allocated 2.3 billion to the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure to advance coordinated infrastructure development, investment, and construction. Initiatives to drive economic growth require strong collaboration between government and the private sector, as government will continue to create an enabling environment through the provision of our safer roads, as well as an integrated transport systems and networks. In the 2026-2027 financial year, the Department of Community Safety, Roads and Transport will invest more than 3.5 billion towards the implementation of these programs. Honorable Speaker, when they tabled the provincial budget, we underscore the critical role of agriculture in our province. Its labor intensity, its capacity to absorb jobs, and its potential to drive provincial GDP growth. In this regard, an allocation of 1 billion has been made to the department to strengthen partnership with key stakeholders, leverage resources and technology, and enhance the productive in pursuit of inclusive economic growth. Speaker, we will continue strengthening programs to reduce poverty and address the high cost of living, the development of cohesive, sustainable, and integrated human settlement will proceed without interruption. To advance the program, led by the Department of Human Settlements, we have allocated over 1.1 billion in the 2026-2027 financial year. Honorable Speaker, our vision is to build an inclusive, sustainable and growing economy through better coordination, integration and mobilization of opportunities, resources. We will strengthen partnerships with the private sector, tertiary institutions and communities to drive economic growth and job creation. To advance this vision, the Department of Economic Development and Tourism is allocated 533 million in 2026-2027 financial year. Honorable Speaker, I'm aware that some honorable members remain concerned that we are not allocating enough to economic development in the province. This is not by design. It is a reflection of constrained fiscal pursuit. As members will appreciate, the larger share of the provincial budget is directed towards the frontline services. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, let me briefly talk to what we normally call the governance cluster, which is constituted by the Office of the Premier, the Provincial Treasury, and the Provincial Legislature. These institutions play a critical role in relation to their respective oversight responsibilities. Honourable Premier, your continued engagement with the provincial departments and municipalities through, amongst others, the Premier's Coordinating Forum has set a clear tone in relation to matters of governance. This includes improvement in relation to audit outcomes, financial management, accountability, transparency, efficient use of public resource, and service delivery. The budget allocation to these institutions supports key programs that are aimed at advancing the clean governance. The governance cluster will spend more than 1.9 billion in 2026-2027 financial year. In conclusion, Honourable Premier, my sincere appreciation for your unwavering support. My colleagues in the Executive Council, thank you for your support in crafting the 2026 and 2027 budget. Honourable Speaker and Deputy Speaker, members of the Free State Provincial Legislature and their respective portfolio committees, we thank you for your support. Your constructive comments and inputs are always appreciated. Officials of the Provincial Treasury, as well as officials from other provincial departments and entities, thank you for your continued dedication and support throughout the budget process. I also wish to thank the Free Staters for their valuable contributions through the Tips for the Budget platform. Lastly, I wish to express my deepest appreciation to my family for their constant encouragement and unwavering support. I thank you.
The Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Public Accounts and Finance, Honourable Khobane, may now address the House.
Motsamaisi wa mosebetsi Ntate Mohlomphehi Abraham, ho Morena Moholo, Morena Mota, Marena Tenkwano, Mopremiere ditho tsa ntlo ya ketsa melao, basebetsi ba mmuso le setjhaba ka kakaretso. Komiti ile ya shebana le ditekanyetso ho hlaha ka mafapha ka ho fapana itshetlehile molaong wa naha. This budget is considered in the midst of the Persian Gulf War, the ripple effect of which is beginning to be felt in our economy. This is going to put much pressure on the government expenditure and therefore have a negative effect on service delivery. Re tlameha ho tiisa meqheleba re le province re etse bonnete ba hore bonyenyane bona bo re nang le bona bo sebeletsa setjhaba, mme ka hona re tshehetsa ditekanyetso tsena ka mora ho hlwaya dikarolo tse hlokang ho fuwa tlhokomelo. Ka tsena ke a leboha motsamaisi wa dipuisano.
The Chairperson of the Committee on Budget and Oversight, Honourable Khaureke, may now address the House.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Premier, members of the Executive, members of the Legislature, Marena Arona, our guests, good morning. Honourable Speaker, the committee reflected on the budget in terms of the law and the rules governing the Budget and Oversight Committee, as we reported earlier. We did all that was necessary in terms of oversight and accountability. Honourable Speaker, the baseline of the legislature is still a challenge. That must be corrected, Honourable MEC. Honorable Speaker, we recommend that the House adopt and approve the budget as presented with concern raised by the legislature that needs attention. Thank you so much.
The Honorable MEC may now reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to convey my sincere gratitude to the House for the inputs that have been made, and we really wish to assure the people of the Free State that we will follow the sense to ensure that everyone gets the deserved services. And we also wish to ensure that all the Chapter 10 institutions will be supported in their work of oversight, particularly the AGSA, to change the face of our local government in relation to the audit reports that have been coming through. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, let me thank the House also for supporting the budget. Thank you.
Honorable members, the question before the House is that the appropriation bill be read for the second time. I put the question. Those in favor will say aye, and those against will say no. Those in favor? Aye. Those against?
No.
No. I appreciate that participation. Unlike one member who is not happy, who is angry here. The ayes have it. Motion approved. The acting secretary shall read the bill for the second time.
Appropriation Bill B3 of 2026.
When does the Honorable MEC propose the committee stage be taken? The chairperson of committees of the whole House, Ndade Meko. Do that fast, yeah. Ndade Meko, you may now take the chair.
Committee staging. Okay. Thank you, honorable members. I wish to remind the House of the provisions of the standing rules and orders when the House is on a committee stage. I wish to put the votes and the schedule of the bill, the clauses and the short title. Also, I wish to remind honorable members of Rule 194, subsection 8 of the Standing Rules and Orders, which states that after a question has been put on a vote or any item of a vote, no motion shall be made or debate allowed on any proceeding vote or item. As the case may be, however, a member may refer to any such vote or item for the purpose of explanation or illustration. As a result, I put vote 1 to vote 5. Any discussion? Any objection? As an objection, Honorable Lichi.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. The DA would like to object to votes 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to read it out loud. Vote 1, Office of the Premier. The DA objects on the basis that this budget allocation is bloated and constantly underperforming across all areas. Further concern is the lack of accountability and consequence management for HODs and MECs under the control of this office. There have been no visible positive outcomes from the interventions by the office that have improved service delivery on the ground. Vote 2, Free State Legislature. The DA objects on the grounds that the Free State Legislature remains underfunded, limiting the institution's constitutional mandate to conduct oversight over the executive and ensure accountability. Then on vote 3, Destia. The DA objects to the budget due to the department's failure to provide a proactive, growth-driven plan that protects infrastructure, unlocks economic and tourism potential, and creates sustainable opportunities for communities across the Free State. Vote 4, Treasury. The DA objects due to the department's lacking in its obligation to ensure a balanced budget, to enhance and ensure effective financial oversight over especially municipalities but also provincial departments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The objection is noted. You are, however, reminded that your input must be presented. Having noted the objection, vote 1 to vote 5 are approved. As we proceed, I put vote 6 to vote 10. Any discussions? Any objection?
Thank you, Chairperson, and I would like to confirm that we do indeed hand in our objections and it is signed per the rules and orders. Then, in terms of the next vote, we would like to object to votes 8, 9 and 10. I'm going to read out loud. 8, Kochta. The DA objects the budget due to it failing to address the needs of municipalities and being insufficient to adequately sustain or equip traditional leaders to fulfill their mandate and responsibilities. The budget is also far too administratively heavy. Vote 9, Public Works. The DA objects the budget due to the department being completely underfunded and unable to fulfill its mandate of maintaining state-owned properties or servicing municipal accounts effectively. Vote 10, Community Safety, Roads and Transport. The DA objects on the basis that more funds must be directed toward this department to ensure adequate investment in road infrastructure. Further, noting the department's struggle with internal control and inability to stabilize contractor and tender management processes. I will submit.
We note in the objections, vote 6 to vote 10 approved. I put vote 11 to vote 13. Any discussions? Any objection? Let's hear the objection.
Thank you, Chairperson. Then vote 10, communities, my apologies. Vote 11, Department of Agriculture. The DA objects this budget on the grounds that the program for veterinary services is underfunded amid the province's largest foot and mouth disease crisis to date, which has a devastating impact on all livestock farmers in the province. This department has been lethargic in implementing quarantine, biosecurity and other measures to control and curb the spread of the disease, and it requires emergency funding similar to that provided during the COVID-19 pandemic to address this crisis. Vote 12, Sports, Arts and Culture. The DA objects the budget due to the proposed handing over of a multi-million rand sports facility to defund municipalities that lack the capacity to utilize and maintain these assets for the benefit of their communities. A 39% increase in funding allocated to Makufe, while there is limited to no support provided to other Free State arts and cultural festivals that also contribute to economic activity and social development within the province. And then lastly, vote 13, human settlements. The DA objects the budget due to the continued mismanagement and the incorrect allocation of funds which have left critical housing needs unaddressed. Communities remain neglected while resources intended to improve living conditions are wasted through poor planning. Thank you.
Objection is noted. Vote 11 to vote 13 approved. I put clause 1 in terms of definition. Any discussion? You're objecting what, Honourable Member? All right, objection.
No, thank you, Chair. We've been preaching. I'm objecting because if we don't do this, to the members of public, it will be like we don't want to take care of the facilities. When we have built the facilities, it is constitutional that they be sent, they be given to municipalities. No. I'm objecting to the objection, Chair. Thank you.
Honourable Member. All right. Order. No, we don't have such a process. We have called for. Let's maintain the order in the House. We have called for discussions. People participated. We've called for an objection. Only one objection was raised. In the end, I said, vote 11 to vote 13 are approved. The issue of the members of the public, either being part of us or not, were indulged during the debates. And we can't now be raising the debates. So it is covered. And that's why in the end, the presiding officer said these votes have been approved despite just that one objection. Thank you very much. I put clause 1 on definition. Any discussions? We require maximum participation. Members who are in the visual platform, you are reminded of your duty in the House. No, thank you. Can they be unmute if they can't participate?
I can participate.
Thank you, Honourable Hlalele. Once again, let me repeat. I put clause 1 on the definition. Any discussions? Any objection?
None.
Approved.
None.
Thank you, honourable members. I put clause 2 on appropriation. Any discussion? Any objection?
None.
Approved. I put, thank you, honourable members. Your renewed energy is appreciated. I put clause 3 on short title. Any discussion? Any objection? Approved. Thank you once again. Thank you very much. I put the schedules. Any discussions? Any objections? Approved. Thank you. Approved. What does the Honourable MEC for Finance, Tatema Kume, propose?
Honorable Chair, I propose that the House be informed that the Committee of the Whole House has approved the bill without amendments. Thank you.
Any discussions? Any objection? Objection?
None.
Thank you, Chair.
Let's allow an oral member to raise the objection.
The DA does not support this budget, given that the majority of departments are facing serious financial management concerns, that this budget is unable to address equitable and ensure the people of the Free State receive value for money. Thank you.
There we are again. The objection is noted, but it is approved. I will report. Is there another one? Oh, it's a submission. I will, as a result of this process, report to the House that the bill has been approved without amendments. The Honourable Speaker may now take the chair. Thank you. I'm seated. What's your problem? This thing is not voluntary. It's not voluntary. This thing. In Guaga power, voluntary.
Thank you. The Honourable Chairperson of Committees of the Whole House may now report to the House on proceedings during the committee stage.
Honourable Speaker, I wish to report to the House that the committees of the whole House has approved the bill without amendment.
The question before the House is that the bill be read for the third time. I put the question. Those in favour will say aye and those against will say no. Those in favour?
Aye.
Those against?
No.
The ayes have it. Honourable Member Janglesin.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. We would like to call for a division.
Right. That will be in voting for this bill, for the appropriation bill. Members will, there is a request for the House to be divided and vote for this. Is there any objection? Yeah. Is there any support for the... Yeah. No objection. Trying to go back. Honourable Member, is there an objection? But we can't deal with this objection. Honourable Chief Whip. Okay. We will now adjourn for 5 minutes. The House shall be adjourned. I have asked for the House. You would address me after that.
I'm sorry to interject. If you allow me, Chair, in terms of the rules, nobody is in and out when this is called. And we would also like to note the people on the virtual platform that nobody else must be now allowed in to this House. Thank you, Chair.
No, I understand.
We have the numbers.
Yes, Honourable.
Chair, there is no provision for that in the rules. The Speaker can adjourn the sitting anytime they want to check something. And the division has not been supported as well. Thank you.
Then I said, let's adjourn. And that's all that I want us. Adjourn for 5 minutes.